Here we are in Melbourne with one of the race favourites, and I think it's fair to say race favourites after your phenomenal race in Kona last year. Luke McKenzie, welcome back to Australia to begin with, and what's it like going into a race like this with the words of Ironman World Champion runner-up next to your name?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an exciting 6 months. It's been 6 months already since the Hawaii Ironman. So, yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to be back here in Australia. I haven't, been here that often lately. I'm living in the States now, so it's exciting to be home and racing. And in our biggest event we have in Australia, the Ironman Asia Pacific Championships draws a really big field. It's stacked with some really good athletes. It's Hawaii quality athletes here, and I'm really excited to get out there on Sunday and have a crack against these guys.
Now let's just quickly turn back the clock to the World Championships in Kona. Since then, you haven't actually, apart from some little race that you did, which was more of a holiday for you, you haven't actually raced since Kona. So what have you been up to since then? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a pretty busy time. After Hawaii, it gave me the luxury of just being able to sort of have a little bit of time off. Every year I'd sort of tried to race post-Kona, and, I think just that ends up catching up with you. After a few seasons of that, I was doing 4, sometimes 5 Ironmans a year, and I think it was just good to have a break mentally from it. And, so, yeah, I got out, and just did some stuff that, I needed to do personally, just have some time off, enjoy my surfing, do some travelling with Beth, and it's a good down period for me. And I've had a really good lead up since then. I've been based in San Diego and in California. It's been a really good winter. I mean, we've had some really good weather, and I'm just enjoying a different approach to the year, having had a good break and sort of coming in a little fresher rather than having sort of trained, right through that late part of the year and coming in sort of, already, pretty well done by this time of year. I'm feeling more fresh, yeah.
Yep. So coming second in Kona, you obviously get quite a few points from that. So I guess it's not as demanding on your schedule to have to race a certain amount of times to get more points to get back to Kona. So going into Sunday's event, can you go into it a little bit more relaxed? Is it a good opportunity to test out some different tactics against, some of the best in the world? Because, like you say, it is a championship.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, I really don't have any pressure on me with the whole Kona thing this year. And I mean, however the race pans out, it's going to, I'm not really putting the pressure on myself to force anything. I really just want to have a really good, solid race, and at the end of the day, make sure I get that, stamp that Hawaii spot, so then I can just basically plan the rest of my year revolved around Kona and not having to worry about going to any other events to validate and do all that. I think it's an opportunity for me to approach it a little bit different and just basically freshen up. I'm 32 now, and I've been, I think I've done something like 25 Ironman. So, it's probably about that point in your career where you need to start to sort of, dial it back a little bit. Your body just can't go through the constant racing, 4 or 5 Ironmans a year. And so this year it's a good opportunity to, dial the racing back a bit and sort of focus more on a few events.
Now, most recently we saw on social media that, and you've just conveniently put your arm there. No, it's perfect, because I was just about to talk to you about your little bike accident the other day. Yeah. Sometimes these things happen, but the body is still okay, just with a few sort of scrapes and bruises?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, it's just one of those things. You ride a bike, eventually you're going to fall off it, and yeah, I mean, I was doing a really good session, and I just finished riding with Nick Gates, who's a really good cyclist, and you might know him. He rode the Tour de France. He's sort of been a bit of a mentor to me in cycling, and I was really excited to ride with him, and
you are just a kid like, still.
I'm gonna drop Gatesy today, and before I knew it, I was on the ground and all banged up. So it's yeah, it's one of those things that happens, and like I said, it could have been a whole lot worse. I could have gone under a car because I fell luckily off the road, and yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit annoying more than anything. I've sort of had to have a few days out of the pool and just sort of rethink a few of my sessions and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I'd sort of done the work, before I got to Australia, and if anything, it was probably a good thing. It slowed me up a little bit. I didn't overdo it. So, yeah, I mean, as long as my wound's healed by Sunday, I'm sort of trying to get it all sort of fixed up now. Yeah, I'm going to be fine. You know, it's just a little bit of skin off.
Yeah. We've all been there. Just lastly, you obviously would have looked at the start list for this event. There's some big hitters here, obviously. Roughly, how do you think the race is going to sort of play out, especially from the beginning? A few top swimmers and some strong bikers here again. How do you see the race sort of panning out?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the start list, it's like Hawaii quality depth. You know, there's so many hitters here, and you know, I'm excited that Marino's back. You know, he's been in a little bit of a sort of limbo in the last 12 months, I guess, since he had a really good race here last year. He just unfortunately got run down, and you know, I admire the way he raced here last year, and if he races like that again on Sunday, then he's definitely going to be a big player. You know, obviously Crowe, one of the greatest of all time at this distance. You know, he really wants to go out on top. He's going to be here giving it his all, but then you got guys like Dirk Bockel. You know, the guy, you know, he's been top 5 at Kona multiple times, and you know, he had a bit of disappointment in Kona last year. So, you know, those guys that are sort of coming off those sort of disappointing results are always really hungry to get that good result. So, you know, he's going to be here in good form. And yeah, I mean, you could just go on and on. I mean, there's so many Ironman champions that are lining up, and you know, I think, you know, the way that I'm going to approach it is, you know, I'm going to just go out there and see what I can do on the bike. You know, there's no use me waiting for the marathon here and trying to outrun Craig Alexander. You know, it'd be exciting if a scenario played out like last year, how Marino was able to get away. You know, I'm hoping for pretty tough conditions on the bike that's going to sort of spread it out a bit. And the way that the marathon, you know, one way, I think that's a good thing for me. You know, I like to get out there, out in front. So if I can get myself up in front and sort of out of sight, out of mind type thing, I think that's it's a good course for me in that regard.
Yeah. And if you've got an opportunity to put yourself in the hurt box to take the win, will you do that on Sunday?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, I feel like I'm pretty fresh. I'm unsure where my fitness is. I don't feel like I'm at Hawaii fitness yet. I don't feel like I've had that consistent sort of build up that you get where you've been training for 3 to 6 months leading into a race. You know, it's been a little stop start, but you know, the sessions that I have hit, I've shown, you know, really good potential to have a good result. So you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself. I just really want to have a good solid result, and you know, if I've got the opportunity to take it to guys like Marino and Crowe, then I really want to do it.
All right, first word, baby.
Coming.
Good. Crowe.
Very fast runner.
Pizza.
I like to eat after a race.
Good. Interviews.
Not very good at them.
Sunshine.
Makes me happy.
Lollipops.
I don't eat them that often.
Beer.
I'm more of a wine drinker.
Rock star.
I am not a rock star. That's Terenzo.